great Pixar and starts being about something you did not realize you needed to feel. It is the moment when the toy on the screen becomes a meditation on letting go, or when the rat in the kitchen becomes a question about who deserves to dream. For years, audiences have been waiting to feel that shift again, that quiet click of recognition when an animated film stops entertaining you and starts meaning something. Hoppers, the new original feature from Pixar Animation Studios, directed by Daniel Chong, does not deliver that moment in the way that Up or Coco once did. But it delivers something rarer in the current animated landscape, which is the unmistakable sensation that the people who made this film were genuinely excited about what they were making, and that excitement is contagious in ways that are difficult to overstate. After a stretch of years during which Pixar seemed to be running on institutional memory rather than genuine inspiration, Hoppers arrives in cinemas feeling like something the studio actually needed to make, not just something it had calculated would perform. That distinction matters more than it might sound. Pixar has not lost its technical mastery. Its films have continued to look extraordinary, to move with precision, and to demonstrate a level of craft in their visual storytelling that remains unmatched in mainstream animation. What several of its recent releases seemed to be missing was urgency. The sense that the story being told could only be told this way and no other. Hoppers has urgency. It has it in its premise, in its protagonist, and in the particular quality of restless invention that runs through its best sequences. It is the kind of film that reminds you why you started loving Pixar in the first place, not by replicating what you loved, but by doing something new with the same spirit. The premise of Hoppers is, on the surface, exactly the kind of wonderfully strange idea that Pixar has built its reputation on over the decades. The film centers on Mabel Tanaka, a 19-year-old with an enormous love of animals and an equally enormous willingness to act on that love without thinking too carefully about the consequences. When a new technology emerges that allows humans to transfer their consciousness into the body of a robotic animal, Mabel immediately seizes the opportunity. She pilots a robotic beaver into the wild natural world, making contact with real animals and beginning what she believes will be a joyful, enlightening adventure. What she discovers instead is that the natural world she has always wanted to protect is under far greater threat than she realized, and that the source of that threat comes directly from human activity. The story unfolds from there, with plenty of chaos, comedy, and genuine feeling, though not always in perfectly equal measure. The technology at the center of the story, the consciousness transfer system that allows humans to inhabit robotic animal bodies, is handled with exactly the right amount of hand-waving. The film is not interested in convincing you that the science is plausible. It is interested in what happens when a person who has always wanted to understand the natural world on its own terms is suddenly given a literal portal into that world. The robotic beaver that Mabel inhabits becomes a genuinely clever narrative device because it is both a vehicle for connection and a reminder of distance. Mabel can move through the animal world, can communicate with its inhabitants, can begin to understand its rhythms and its dangers, but she is still doing so from inside a machine. That tension between genuine empathy and the mechanical mediation of that empathy gives the film a quietly interesting thematic texture that it does not belabor, but does not abandon either. Mabel Tanaka is voiced by Piper Curda, and the performance brings the character to life with exactly the kind of restless, spirited quality the